In April 2026, Google scrapped its AI model brand and replaced it with a governance layer. Microsoft followed 9 days later. AWS had already started. 3 hyperscalers, 90 days, 1 conclusion. The model is the commodity. The control plane is the prize. Your agents already act inside your systems. Who actually owns the identity, the permission, and the audit trail right now?
Let's get into it.
This is the Hamberger Report. I'm Andreas Hamberger, Enterprise Architect and AI Governance Practitioner, Wellington. Between April and June 2026, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google each shipped the same thing, a governance layer for AI agents. Not a smarter model. The harness around it. 3 hyperscalers, 90 days, 1 conclusion. In that 90-day window, Google retired the Vertex AI brand and launched the Gemini Enterprise Agent platform. That rebrand signaled that even a best-in-class model is no longer the unit of strategic value. 9 days later, Microsoft announced Agent 365 at general availability. Not a model, a single administrative surface to govern every AI agent in the organization, regardless of vendor. AWS had moved earliest. Amazon Bedrock Agent Core reached general availability in October 2025 and reported 15 times growth in agent tasks by June 2026. That is a vendor-reported figure, not independently verified. The pattern is unmistakable. 3 of the 4 largest cloud providers concluded independently that their governance harness is the market position worth owning. If your AI pilots are not becoming production systems, that convergence is the answer to a question your organization has been asking for 2 years. The governance bottleneck has been measured precisely. McKinsey's State of AI in 2026 found 88% of organizations report regular AI use, yet nearly 2/3 have not begun scaling. Proofpoint found 52% are not confident their controls would detect a compromised agent. Gartner projected in June 2025 that 40% of agentic AI projects would be cancelled by the end of 2027. Governance, observability, and unclear ownership were the named failure modes, not model quality. Gartner estimated spending on AI governance platforms would reach $492 million in 2026, rising above $1 billion by 2030. Organizations are not stalling because they chose the wrong model. They are stalling because nobody can answer 3 questions. Who owns the agent identity? Who approved the permission? Who sees the audit trail? The model cannot answer those questions. The control plane can. A control plane is the governance layer a model does not provide. 6 capabilities define it. Identity for every agent. Permission boundaries, policy enforcement, memory management, observability, and an audit trail of who approved what and when. An agent without a control plane has capability. It does not have accountability. Identity means every AI agent holds a non-human credential that can be granted, scoped, and revoked. Agent 365 does this through Microsoft Entra conditional access policies. Agent Core uses AWS IAM integration. Gemini Enterprise uses per-agent cryptographic identity called agent identity. Permissions enforce least privilege. The model does not. Policy defines what an agent may and may not do in an auditable form. Purview data loss prevention in Agent 365. Guardrails in Agent Core. Agent gateway policy routing in Gemini Enterprise. Memory manages short-term and long-term agent state, so workflows persist across sessions. Observability provides session-level traceability across latency, error rates, tool selection, and goal success. Without it, production incidents cannot be diagnosed. Audit trail is the governance record that distinguishes a production system from a sophisticated pilot. Together, these 6 capabilities are why the control plane is the prize, not the model. Gartner's May 2026 guidance makes an architectural point every enterprise architect should carry into their evaluation. Applying uniform governance across all AI agents, regardless of autonomy level, leads to enterprise AI agent failure. The failure mode is not choosing the wrong platform. It is misconfiguring the one you chose. Consider 3 agents a mid-sized New Zealand financial services organization might deploy. A summarization agent reads customer correspondence and surfaces key themes for a relationship manager to review. A research agent retrieves and synthesizes information from internal and external sources. An approval workflow agent acts on customer data to initiate, modify, or flag financial transactions. 3 agents, 3 materially different autonomy levels, 3 materially different risk profiles. Applying identical governance fails in both directions. It overgoverns the first agent, reducing throughput, and undergoverns the third, creating financial and regulatory exposure. Proportional governance requires classifying each agent by its autonomy tier before selecting its identity scope, permission boundary, and escalation rules. The control plane enables that classification. It does not automatically perform it. Organizations with a dedicated governance platform are 3.4 times more likely to reach high effectiveness in AI deployment. Per Gartner, February 2026. That multiplier is about what the platform forces you to think about. The sovereignty agility dimension is the one June 2026 forced into the open. The Fable 5 and Mythos 5 suspension on 12 June pulled 2 frontier AI models from global access within hours. No warning, no transition window. That episode revealed a structural dependency. The control plane decision directly affects how exposed an enterprise is to that kind of disruption. A control plane that supports A2A interoperability provides governance plus portability at the agent communication layer. It does not provide portability at the governance layer. Identity, permissions, and audit infrastructure embedded in a single vendor stack is harder to migrate than agent communication running on an open standard. The United States National Security Presidential Memorandum 11, issued 5 June 2026, codified 4 federal AI governance requirements: reliability, robustness, steerability, and controllability. Controllability is the override that stops an agent mid-action. For a small open economy with no domestic hyperscaler, adopting an allied control plane means the override and the audit trail sit with the platform rather than the nation. That is foundation model concentration in its procurement form. New Zealand enterprise architects evaluating control plane decisions in the second half of 2026 should carry that question into every vendor conversation before the architecture default. To whoever sends the first proposal, the agent-to-agent protocol version 1.0, launched at Google Cloud Next 26 in April 2026, is an open specification governed by the Linux Foundation's Agentic AI Foundation. It allows agents from different vendors to discover each other, negotiate capabilities, and delegate tasks securely. The hedge is real and limited. The Model Context Protocol precedent tells the story. MCP reached approximately 10,000 public servers and 97 million monthly SDK downloads by March 2026. Every major hyperscaler adopted MCP for tool connectivity. None of them stopped competing on proprietary control planes. The open standard lowered switching costs at the communication layer. It did not commoditize the governance layer. A 2A is likely to follow the same pattern: adoption as a commodity interoperability layer, alongside continued proprietary competition on the governance infrastructure. The control plane abstraction protects you from model lock-in. It can itself become the new PIN if it is single vendor and deeply embedded. For New Zealand enterprise architects, 3 evaluation questions structure the decision: what is your existing hyperscaler footprint? What are your data residency requirements? And does your architecture need to support agents from multiple providers? The infrastructure consolidation pattern is not new. Virtualization consolidated between 2006 and 2010. Identity and access management consolidated between 2010 and 2015. In both cases, the open question was not whether the layer would consolidate. But who would own it and what lock-in would look like. The agent control plane market is following the same structural pattern. 3 hyperscalers concluded independently that the governance harness is the market position worth owning. The pilot to production gap was never a model problem. It was a governance infrastructure problem. The infrastructure now exists. The question is whether enterprise architects configure it with the intentionality the moment requires, or inherit a governance architecture by default. 3 questions. Who owns the agent identity? Who approved the permission? Who holds the audit trail? If the answer involves checking with the vendor, the control plane has been chosen. The governance posture has not. Link to the full analysis in the description. Which of the 3 accountability questions is hardest to answer in your organization stack right now? This is the Hamberger Report.
That is the Hamberger Report for today. If this was useful, subscribe and hit the like button. It helps more professionals find the channel. You will find links to everything we covered in the description below. I am Andreas Hamberger, and I will see you tomorrow.
Like and subscribe.